to see you. Come on in. I'm your boyfriend, George. TGIW. Thank goodness it's Wednesday. I don't know if some of you can relate to what I'm currently experiencing, but I have a young mother. My mother's a young woman. She was very young when she had me. She's a young woman now. She's basically in the very beginning of being in the 60 thing, right? Very young. My mom doesn't have an email, doesn't have a computer, never sent an email, doesn't have a cell phone until I bought her one. I bought her the kind of cell phone that my mom could use to just make phone calls because I didn't think my mom would want to send text messages. I was wrong. My mother is already figuring out emoticons, and it's unbelievable. And she called me, she said, because there's a camera on, she goes, Bucky, can they see me through the hole in the camera? To which I responded to her, yes, Mom, but only the people you voted for. And she was strangely relieved by that response. She was responsive. Looking forward to tonight's program. I want to talk about technology a little bit later on. That's why I brought it up. And also talk about nature. That's coming up in the debrief today. Patrick Chan in the red chair tonight. How great is that? Patrick Chan, silver medalist in Sochi, but gold medalist in our hearts. So excited to talk to the star of that new reality show, You Got Channed. If you don't know what You Got Channed is, you need to go to Strombo.com and you will see it. Okay, before we get to the debrief, I want to tell you something that happened. It happened today. It had to do with the airlines. It's not a good thing, and I want to talk about it. Virgin Australia flight 0970 from Brisbane to Sydney. Let me say right off the bat, nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt physically. Physically, everyone's okay. But I recognize that flying can be a very anxious experience for a lot of people. And you do get that kind of the tension. And that's when everything goes right. People are just like, hey, I'll have another 9 drinks or whatever people go through on planes, right? But just imagine you're on a plane and you're about to take off. And let me say, you want to be progressive, right? You're just a progressive person. Everybody is everybody. You don't judge people. You don't profile people. Someone can sit beside you. You don't profile. But every now and then someone sits beside you and you go, are they, I think they are, they're in musical theater. And I'm with you, because it could go badly. Look at this flight. They broke into song doing The Lion King, the cast of The Lion King, and I'm pretty sure that's not legal. See that little boy in the middle? That little boy in the middle is desperate to get off the plane. He's like, get me to that handle. We paid hundreds of dollars specifically not to be at the Lion King. Don't do that to us. And that's literally a captive audience. And I believe under the Geneva Conventions, they have rules on how you can treat captives. To be clear, I want my flights to be more Air Force One and less Glee, okay? That's what I want. Okay, let's deal with the day, shall we? A couple of quick things here. Couple of quick things. Hayley Wickenheiser, who helped Canada win gold medal at the Olympics, turns out she had a broken foot. She announced she had a broken foot when she did it. She did that with that incapacitating pain with no pain medication, proving once again that winning is a natural opiate. Well, that and beating the Americans in hockey. How did Hayley break her foot? I don't know, but my best guess is she kicked down a bank door to save puppies. The Legalize It engine may have just had a wrench thrown into it with a little curative kush, a little rehabilitative reefer. So California, you know, pot is not legal. But getting a prescription for marijuana is very easy. It's literally easier than getting Clippers tickets. In fact, the only thing more difficult is trying to have an interesting conversation with somebody who won a Teen Choice Award. It is that easy to get. Have you ever tried? Trust a brother. Basically, if you've had a headache anytime from 1978 and on, you're good. You'll get a prescription, right? Well, that model where the doctors, not the government, are the ones who decide whether or not you are eligible for marijuana is becoming the law. Where in the world? Here. Quebec's Medical Association was the first to make the guidelines for the new rules today. Your province isn't far behind. Health Canada says they expect the number of Canadians using medical marijuana to go from 38,000 to 450,000 in a decade. That's it. That's 113 new people sparking up every day, my friends. 113 people every day. That is the biggest threat to our economy since the polar vortex, maybe? That is the biggest threat to our economy since the PlayStation 4. I don't know. It's an interesting play, though, for the Conservative government. Because instead of figuring out how to implement a safe and taxable market for marijuana users, just instantly lower the bar for being a marijuana patient. It's a win-win. People who want to legally smoke pot can, and conservatives can frame access as a medical issue, not a moral one. And I think it's good because struggling pharmaceutical companies get you much-needed cash cows. And I think we can all agree that Big Pharma are still reeling from the yoga Lululemon bubble that is still growing. Now, look, I don't hit that plant, but I do love plants. In fact, as a city boy, let me just say right now, I love nature.
I love nature. Trees.
That was much shorter than I thought it was. Here's why I was doing something over there that I didn't want you to see. Watching your friends eat snacks in between rounds of World of Warcraft is boring, right? But watching a bird eating in a bar like a person is amazing. Thank Dawkins for the Norwegians. There's a 24-hour live feed of birds eating on a coffee bar set. There's no news. I just wanted to tell you that. That's incredible. Tomorrow night on the Debrief, I want to speak to the creator, Lars Artande, who created it. It's actually called The PIIP Show. Beep, beep, beep. It's called, plug your ears, okay? Because it's loaded with tits. Great tits, small tits, blue tits. It's not dirty. That's the bird. It's nature. I love nature. Zebras. Why do they have stripes? Is it because it's slimming? Is it because they're the referees of the animal world? Did the Lord run out of paint and tried to conserve? No. Apparently it's evolutionary. Scientists have done some clinical testing, and they've just found out that biting flies found in African plains don't like to land on striped surfaces. That is an evolutionary win. Why don't they like striped surfaces? Nobody knows. But it does explain why I've never seen this guy scratching a mosquito bite. He's been clear the whole time. I always thought it was because insects didn't want high cholesterol. I love nature. What goes along with loving nature? Sometimes this, fearing technology. My favorite headline of the day, I want to show this to you right now. FBI wants to know if robots are trading illegally. I don't want to read the rest of the story because it'll ruin something. I want to say this, though. I want to say this. A very special birthday. I want to give a card here if I can. Huge happy birthday to a Canadian icon. Not Wayne Gretzky. Not R.B. Bennett, the 11th Prime Minister of Canada. No, not even Ryan Gosling's perfect, if yet seemingly photoshopped abs. Happy birthday to the CN Tower. You icon. That's your new British.